You're going to have a good time.
Now, Good Time is a highly stylized neo-noir thriller in the same vein as Nightcrawler or Drive, so if that's something that intrigues you, you're gonna love this movie. Now, Good Time stars Robert Pattinson and Benny Safdie as brothers. Benny Safdie is also one of the directors for the film. At the beginning of this film, Benny Safdie's character is in a counseling session with a doctor.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Do you understand that?
No.
Immediately, it's realized that he plays a mentally challenged character. A few minutes into this session, Robert Pattinson interrupts while he's making some progress. Robert Pattinson then begins to berate the doctor and tell him that Benny Safdie does not need to be here. He belongs with me, and he quickly takes him from the session.
I told you about the program he's forced to attend and how he shouldn't be there.
Now, this is where the movie really starts to begin, and what ensues is a very stylized pulse pounder for the remainder of the film. One of the things I really enjoyed about this film was Robert Pattinson. He was amazing. Now, he gives such an edgy performance, and as a viewer, it really unsettles you.
Don't be confused. It's just gonna make it worse for me.
The dynamic he brings to the screen, you realize that he plays this shallow yet intriguing character. He's out only to save his brother. What happens during the film is that they end up robbing a bank, and they're on the run from the cops, and Benny Safdie's character gets caught by the cops. So it's up to Robert Pattinson to get him out of jail, but it's gonna cost him upwards of 15 grand.
Something happened. I don't know exactly what. My brother's been arrested. He's being held at Rikers Island.
So the catalyst for this film is a bank robbery that takes place at the beginning, and Robert Pattinson and Benny Safdie play this scene with such vigor, with such grace even, and you realize a little bit later on in the film that Robert Pattinson has a shallowness to him, because when Benny Safdie, on the run from the police after robbing the bank, gets captured, his sole position becomes trying to get his brother out of jail, and his bail is upwards, I think, of $15,000.
I just have a client that walked in.
We're good?
You get another 10 grand, your brother will get out.
What you get after that is Robert Pattinson doing whatever it takes, illegally, legally, it doesn't matter, to save his brother, to get him out of Rikers Island, which is one of the worst prisons in America. And he has these motivations that are clear cut and even, just ridiculously selfish, but there's a charm to it. There's a charm because he loves his brother. And his brother, like I said, is mentally challenged. So you feel the pain, you feel the understanding with Robert Pattinson, and this character that he encapsulates is just brilliantly portrayed on film. The second thing I enjoyed about this film was the highly stylized look of it all. During the beginning of the film, there is this sequence that sets up the entire part of this film. It almost reminds you of The Dark Knight, because you have a bank heist scene, not as elaborate as The Dark Knight, but it sets up everything beautifully for the rest of the film. The way they do it in this film, though, is that they have the opening credits going as, everything is taking place, and all the action sequences, the quick editing, it's a pulse-pounding effect, and it's done beautifully. I mean, there's no other way I could think for them to introduce the story to the silver screen. Even when the movie takes a slower turn and, Robert Pattinson is taking a deep breath, so to speak, and he's thinking of his next move methodically, trying to outrun his pursuers, it's still never slow. He's getting something in action. There's something in motion inside of his mind, and that keeps the gears working on their own. The movie as a whole and, as a mental statement. And to have both of those, something that you have to think about, but also something you can purely enjoy from just the look and the style of it, it was done beautifully. Now, there is one small thing about this film I do feel they could have done a little better. Now, throughout this film, after Robert Pattinson and his brother rob the bank, Robert Pattinson's brother gets locked up and he's trying to get him out. After the whole catalyst is done, you get small glimpses on the newscast here and there about why this all happened. But still, you wonder, was it enough to push them to this extreme? I do feel that if this movie would have explained a little more of their backstory, if it would have maybe shown some more of the mental challenges that his brother had to deal with, and why Robert Pattinson felt so close to him, why he had to go through all these extremes to save him, I think the movie could have hit his mark that much more. That being said, it's not a huge thing because, like I said, Robert Pattinson, the catalyst, the style, and the populating characters of this film still make it a beautiful and enjoyable watch. My final score for this film is a 9.0. It was a huge, successful film on what it tried to do. It's a neon-drenched thrill ride. Like I said, if you enjoy films like Nightcrawler, Drive, neo-noir films that have very interesting characters along with a great supporting cast, interesting plot, and just pulse-pounding action, this movie is definitely for you. Those are my favorite kind of films, and so I really enjoyed it. I would say for anybody, a fan of independent cinema, go see this film. I can't say enough good things about it. Well guys, that was my review for the independent film Good Time. If you've seen it, let me know what you think. Did you like it? Did you love it? Post in the comments below. And if you're a fan of independent cinema, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook. Thanks guys.
It can be a lot of fun if you let it. You're gonna have a good time.